Our resource persons today, as I have already said, are Neeraj Kumar Sir from Skilling India team and Abhigyan Bhattacharjee Sir from Tura campus, Nehu. So our first, yes, hello, nice to see you. I'd like to request our principal, Dr. Dulen Hoikia Sir, to say a few words in welcome, and then we shall start off with the session without much ado.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning to all of you. I once again welcome you to this FIDE National Seminar on soft skill and life skill and its pertinence in career development. It is the second day of the national event on online. Yesterday we had a negotiation that we have a technical session. The keynote address was delivered by Professor Renu Nanda, the Professor, Department of Sociology, University of Jammu. One talk was from Sandeep, is from Skilling India. Today we have two sessions, 4 invited talk. In the morning session, we have with us our esteemed resource person, Mr. Neeraj Kumar. He is a co-founder, Skilling India, Bangalore. He is an entrepreneur, leadership, mindfulness.
Only meeting or
also we have with us Dr. Abhigyan Bhattacharjee, the Associate Professor, Department of Management, Placement Coordinator, Nehu, India. I'm very grateful to all the honored speakers of this event who have accepted our invitation, given consent to deliver a speech. Thank you for your kind support, cooperation, and also spending your valuable time sharing your expertise and knowledge in the field. Once again, I welcome you to this national event, and I hope from your deliberation and presentation, our participants, not only the student participants, our faculty members will learn and know. I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, as you rightly said, learning is for everyone. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir. Time is yours. Neeraj Kumar, sir. Time is yours now. We are happy to have you here.
Sure.
Please, you can begin with the deliberations. Thank you so much.
So, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Yes.
Okay. As today's session is about the importance of soft skills. Importance of soft skills in the context of career success and learning in 21st century. So, when we at campus, especially from a student's perspective and even faculty's perspective, most of us focus on getting the job, placement somehow. But the job is just the beginning. Ultimately, what we aspire for a successful career. So, job at times we may get based on the degree, based on our marks, based on certain certifications. Even as a routine part, because some employers will come and hire, because they need to hire some students. But the career is built by performing in the job. It's just like, do we have the skills that once we get into the workplace, can we perform there? So let's first understand what career is. So when somebody hires anyone, let's say even a faculty members here, myself, or tomorrow most of you will go in workplace. The first interest of any employer is to hire you for a work. They have some work for which they want to hire. For example, it could be a role of an accountant, it could be a role of a software engineer, it could be a role of a sales or marketing person. That means they have a function, and that function has some work for you. So the first and most important skills that are required for career are that work specific skills, which are related to the subject stream which you are. But is that all? Probably not. So as you move from schools to colleges, the biggest change happens. You are in a new environment with new people, campus, lot of freedom. So how you studied over these years in your campus also dependent. That was also dependent on how you applied your skills to build relationships there and manage this exposure that you got. Because when we move from school to colleges are a next level of freedom in our life. Similarly, think when you will move from colleges to corporates. The corporate again is going to be very different work environment for you. There will be people, there will be huge exposure. You will have a lot of freedom because you will be on your independent. But that exposure and that environment needs certain very, very important skills, and one of them is relationships. In school was a very controlled environment, and college was you have choice whom you want to make friend. Of course, you can't bunk your classes, so teacher and student relationship is intact. But in the workplace, if you're a part of a team, you have to be with the people with diverse experience, diverse culture, background, different opinions, different thinking. So all sort of good, bad, ugly things are going to happen there. Would you have skills to manage those relationships? And also, being from a student, non-earning to moving in an environment where you earn and you can spend as per your wish, how would you manage that exposure? When people hire you, they hire you for thinking, okay, you have certain aptitudes, certain skills, but the work requirements keep changing. As you will grow in your career in terms of weeks, months, and even years, the expectations from you will change. And how do you acquire those skills is like your entrepreneurial innovation mindset. Entrepreneurship is not about just going out and starting your own business. Entrepreneurial mindset is a mindset of value creation. Whatever, anything, anytime that you do, how you create more value, how do you make that work meaningful is the mindset of entrepreneur or innovation. Be it workplace, be it home, be it school or college. And the third comes the life skills. Now you will be in an environment where things will happen, unexpected things will happen. There will be hurdles, there will be challenges, there will be success, there will be failures, setbacks. All sort of things are going to happen in your life. How are you going to manage it? How are you going to react it? And since we are in a continuously evolving environment and process, the learning can't stop. So would you have a mindset to learn continuously? So I think today what you have in your hand is achieve good marks, get your degree with good credentials, do certifications. But it is just the beginning. The actual learning will happen. They say the actual learning on the job. And most important thing is, do you have skills to set your own goals and what kind of a growth you want to achieve? Look around in your section today. You might be 30 people batch, 50 or 100 people batch. Each one of you will have different kind of growth in your life. You all might be successful, but your measurements will be very, very different. Same class, same school, same degree. And one of the key differentiator would be who are going to set their goals, and also not only setting the goals, but also learning how to achieve those goals. So I think by now most of you would know is there's this term future skills, which is it's a very trending term, which has been spoken very highly over the last few years, that get future ready, But our future is, what is our future? Our future is built on our today actually. So if we can build today, our present, our future will automatically build. And some of the things, and these are from the World Economic Forum, based on how industry is evolving, because today we are in a truly global economy, and the COVID has further accelerated. So I can tell you, in Skilling India, we have close to 100 employees, and they all are working across India. Many of them even we haven't met in person. Some are even northeast. So across India, and you have to work in this kind of environment, and this environment going to continue the blended learn. So you need mental well-being, resilience, stress tolerance, critical thinking, leadership, positivity, social influencer, which is part of your emotional intelligence, analytical thinking and decision making, which is you have to today. I think if in 20 years something has changed for each one of us, is we have to make a lot of decisions. Why the roles have become so demanding all of a sudden? I remember in my time, which is a long time back, if you are good in maths, probably you would think of only engineering. There are two ways to look at it. One is, okay, there were only limited options. But the positive way of looking at that is there were no confusions actually. You had one option and you had all, everything you could to do that. But today there are many choices. Choices from wearing clothes to eating food to choosing a phone to, watching what do you want to watch on Netflix or YouTube and all, to career. I think each one of us, from what to eat to what to watch, number of decisions, and career among that, which certification to go. But the decision making is a skill. Whatever resources we have, whatever we have in hand, how quickly we learn to make those decisions. Then creativity, initiatives, entrepreneurship and innovation we just spoke. In digital world, the communication is the key. Like today, right now, we are communicating to each other, and this is so wonderful. I'm sitting in Bangalore at my home, and the faculty members at maybe in college or their home, and the students across. So it's a wonderful way of communication. But what is happening in this? There's a technology tool which has come. There's Microsoft Teams, and there's a team which has put in place the presentation, and this is going to be some of the very, very important skills. So when we think learning, like learn this, learn that. What is learning? Learning is a process of, it's a continuous process of acquiring, not only understanding. So information is not learning actually. Information is available in abundance today. You just go to Google, YouTube and all, and you can find information of anything you want. If it's just about the information, but the processing that information, applying it in your context, and see, that's why we say the lab theory, right? You read in the book, and you can't teach someone cricket or football in books. You have to go and play. So anything that you want to learn in your life, the only way to learn is start implementing. Just go for it. Do as many errors, mistakes you can do. And good part is that everything can be learned. Everything can be developed in a habit. We just need to be aware and set our goals towards that. So one wonderful thing today is, like in this century, 21st century, is that learning is highly accessible. It is on the go, mobile, anytime. You can learn multiple things today, multiple sources. So no constraint. It's just not that even if, let's say, it happens to most of us, we end up in a program which could be a degree program, which later on we realize, oh, I don't have interest in it, and it is absolutely okay. But what you can still do, there are many ways today to quickly upskill and learn a lot of skills in parallel, which can be in addition to your degree. Am I audible? Is everything fine?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, you are audible. You are audible.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I can't see myself. So. and most important, the most wonderful thing that digital learning has given us is it's on demand. So it's live and recorded classes. So as and when you want to learn, you are traveling, you are in a break, you are at home, you can plan your time that if you want to learn, give 1 hour every day to learning something new. There are enough resources. But the first skill is the skill to learn, that I want to learn. Okay, that no one else can do for you. So today, blended learning is the way. And in this I would say very, very vast area in terms of, we say, soft skills and life skills. So you wonder at why, if you look around and maybe some people in your family, your friend circle, and even your batch currently, you would see some people they achieve extraordinary success in their life and career, and despite the fact that universe has given all of us similar resources, are they very special? Are they born special, or they do certain things which makes them achieve this extraordinary success? Right? It is true. Some of in the same environment, some people achieve extraordinary. So let's now, in next 15-20 minutes, let's try to go through what makes things work, or what makes things special or differently successful for different people. So first, number one is career selection skill itself. And career selection skill is not, of course, when we have choice, it should be when we, like in 12th standard, 11th, when we choose our degree. But I think the culturally there is not enough interest and information and guidance available that how do you choose your degree program. But that's okay. Even when you are degree, so for example, I did my engineering from IIT Delhi in biotechnology. I started my career in IT industry, and in 2006 I started my first venture, which was an HR technology venture. After the 2011, I did a food tech venture, just like Swiggy. And since last 1 year, we are doing an edtech. So if I look at my degree of biotechnology, has no role to play, honestly. But the process has a huge role to play, because in that process, and I think Sandeep spoke yesterday in his presentation, that the career strength skill basically. And in that you develop your aptitude, you develop your interest into certain areas that, okay, there should be something which you should be deeply interested into, and develop your character strengths, values, and your personality strengths. They make your career. So that's why the lot of companies, if you see why the marks are important, if we ever try to pay attention, certain companies pay why the assessments happen every semester, year. Why marks matter actually? So what marks tells us? Not necessarily marks tell us the intelligence of someone, but if someone is getting marks consistently, that definitely tells us that the person is consistent, the person is sincere, the person values time, because you cannot achieve marks consistently just by sheer luck. That means you plan, you give your time, and you try to give your best. So marks will not decide whether you'll be successful in your job or not, but the process you follow today. So that's why in sports is the or yeah, any hobby for that matter. Sports are the classical example. you have to achieve sheer excellence, habit of excellence to be the best player in the team actually. And similarly, as a team, you have to work in coordination. So that process is very, very important. And that's why a lot of global companies give a lot of value to not only academic skills, but also your extracurricular skills. Because they tell that you have that habit, you have that formula in you. And of course, your strengths make your personality. And personality is your inner personality and outer personality. I think Sandeep covered that yesterday. So now, as you all will be looking at building your career, now, sooner or later, and I told you, career is a continuous process. Career is not just about getting the job, but somewhere you have to think, right? Okay, you have time, you have energy, where you want to spend it. Where you put your focus, that gets built actually. So the motivation is important, goals are important, clarity is important. Sorry. Understanding of your abilities and skills today is important because they tell you, so your goal and your current assessment, they tell you want to go here, but you are here today and how to build it. So this process is very, very important. And I have spoken to thousands of students over last 1 year. This, and I will say even I probably didn't have that when I was in those days. And if one thing I would think, if I will go back and fix, probably that would be one thing. At any point of time in our life today, who are part of this presentation, whether you are doing excellent academically or somewhere average or even below average, don't worry. Wherever you are, even today, you can start improving. Just set small, tiny goals there. And most important thing is, how do you grow? Okay. We all have a lot of help around us actually. It could be in form of your someone in the family, even parents, if you are willing to take that help, your faculty members, your alumni matter, alumni, go and seek a professional help, professional guidance. It is extremely important. Everyone should go out and take a career counseling because our entire life we put in building a career, but without any clarity what career is, who am I, what I want to do actually. It does help. Have a mentor, and mentor means someone with whom you can share your mind, your feelings, your confusions, your ideas, and that person has ability to at least guide you how to take those decisions. Personal vision statement is extremely important. Like I think by now, if you read good books and you read the autobiography of any successful person who has born in this planet, and some are visible in because of social media and all, but there are millions of stories of personal success, people doing extraordinary. You have to define a personal vision statement that what you want to become. And according to the mind theory, I think the ma'am told at the beginning that we how we use our mind to be happy mind, and that's how we can look at the world around. So the mind needs a vision, and it is so what you visualize about yourself, and you have huge potential to become that actually. And if one golden rule I can tell, which never fails, is maximum growth in life comes by helping others. So in terms of the soft skills, or we were looking into the workplace setup, let's look at what is the importance of communication skills. So communication today, if you look at that, is one is the written part. So if you join a company, join a job, you have to write emails, you have to write documents. But verbal, you have to speak, and also you have to listen. You will be the team meeting, somebody will be telling you digitally, verbally, and listening skills have taken a significantly high importance today. Body language, how you sitting, how you carrying yourself, because people just gonna see you, your body, you know, those little postures, gestures, and more importantly, because each one of us is in social media, it also becomes part of our personal communication. That how do you communicate on social media, internal forums, and all. So if you look at that, the communication today is just not a unidirectional. There are multiple things, and each one of them is extremely important. So communication is not only about English. English is a medium to express yourself like any other language in the world. It is Assamese, Hindi, English, Chinese, French. The communication is about your ability to think, that you have something to say. You have ability to understand what you want to say. And it's absolutely fine in whatever language works for you. And that's why there's a famous say that a child, the most, I would say the natural abilities to communicate is in the native language, mother tongue. That's why it is called as mother tongue. Because that you hear whole day, that you have been hearing even before you are born and you are in this world, because that since the time you are in mother's womb, you are hearing that mother tongue. And that's why mother tongue is extremely powerful. So thinking and writing, even if you want to do in mother tongue, start with that actually. And then you can always translate. So I did my till 12th standard. I was born in a small town in Western UP, Hindi medium, right? So till 12th, everybody at my home used to speak Hindi. Our entire UP board education was in Hindi medium. Until 12th, I studied in Hindi medium actually. And it was never a problem. But when I had to write JE exam, I did it in English. And there was little difficulty, but it is okay. But I used to think and write a lot in Hindi. So at least I was good in that part, that whenever there is an opportunity, I could express myself. Even with a broken English to begin with, and slowly and gradually you pick it up. So the communication is skill, and today in the digital world of communication, there are a number of things you have to work on. And each of these things, the written, verbal, body language, and your social media. So tomorrow when you join jobs, you are at the workplace, even your personal handles, your social presence plays an important role. You should be very careful that how do you use your social media. The most important thing, like today you have a job to deliver. It's not that the job you will have work to deliver only in workplace. As a student, you have a lot of work, like you have to submit assignments, projects, case studies. At home, your parents would give you some work, some extracurricular club activities and all. So everywhere you have work. And this is the foundation of our success and soft skills. So if you pay close attention to it, I would say if one can master these 5 steps, you can live wonderful life, amazing life, wherever you are today, either as a student, as a faculty, irrespective how senior you are that. And then if you reflect back, you will find that everything revolves around it. Whatever work is given to you, okay, how you understand that what is expected from that, how do you plan, in what time frame it needs to be done, finished, what resources you have, what strength you have, what things you don't have, and you make an execution plan and you start working on it. But as you start working on it, since it is an important work, you want to review it midway and set a review process that are you doing it right way? Because when we do some work, that means someone else is expecting that outcome from us. Someone's, not only our expectation, the others' expectations are also there. So it can never be one-sided. So this review, along with the people with whom who are expecting that work, and then taking the feedback in time, correcting it, and finally improve it. This is the foundation of life and soft skills, I would say. that how do you become a master in planning, execution, review, taking feedback and improving, and taking feedback gracefully. So I have worked as a leadership coach to a lot of CXOs, entrepreneurs, senior people and all. And I tell you, at the core, we just work around it. So what work you have, anything that you have chosen to be done today, do you have the clarity about these areas? There are very, very high chance that you will achieve it, and you will achieve with a very high quality. And so if you remember the career grid, the next was that you are not alone in workplace. You are a team, and a team of very different capabilities, different seniority, experience, views and all. But how do you work together? Like when you do the team activity, it could be a match, it could be a skit, play, drama and all. How do you collaborate? And how each one of the team member takes the ownership to solve the problem. But not only to solve the problem, but also take the accountability of whatever is the outcome, whether it will work or it doesn't work. Finally, it is my accountability. And that finally results into the leadership. So I think the team skills, if you pay collaboration, is like you seek help. Okay? It is a major skill today. Lot of help is available in this world. But nobody will just come randomly out of the way and help you out. You have to go out and seek help. And in workplace, you require it a lot actually. So in the leadership, collaboration comes among the top skills. How do you collaborate? And of course, ownership, accountability are your personal characters, personal strengths, and problem solving your mental ability. So I think these skills are extremely important if I say from a soft skills point of view and in a team working environment. And while you're doing all these things, are you being very productive? What is your productivity? Productivity is the efficiency with which you are working. It's not just you doing the work. The most of the time you will hear, why are you so slow? Correct? Or why the quality is so poor? So the time is the most precious, I would say, commodity or money we have. And good thing is all of us, everyone in this world, from Warren Buffett to Elon Musk to me or everyone here have the same time. So how do we manage that time? How do we remain very, very proactive? And as things are changing around us, the world is changing. I think that after COVID, the lot of things have changed. The social dynamics, way of living, the families today have to be very, very cooperative with each other. You might be going through a lot, actually, a lot of confusion and a lot of uncertainties. So remain very flexible and adaptable. I think the Darwin's theory is that if you look at the world history, dinosaurs are not alive today, right? They say the species which are very flexible and adaptable, they will survive the longest. As the things change, change yourself. Whatever coming your way, gracefully accept that. And just keep building on top of that. And remain a continuous learner. So I think this is the core summary for today's presentation from my side. Is two important things. One was how to look at the career, and second is how to look at these at least four pillars, which I think there's a lot beyond it, but at least these four pillars comfortably cover most of the things. And each one of each of the things written here is a process or a skill, and if we have to learn it at some point of time. The sooner we start there, I think the easier, better, and bigger is going to be our life and career. And just last thing, I think it was covered yesterday, but since it was prepared at my end, is that if you look at today, we're talking about stress, we're talking about ability to cope, stay resilient, solve problems, and mindfulness, right? That whatever we're doing, Are we even aware that what we are doing, why we are doing, and hence how we are doing it? So that self-awareness is the foundation. So I think seeking that clarity, journaling, writing, taking some time off, reading good books, uh, letting go things, and if there's stress, figuring out what are your stressors are. So this mental well-being today is become the talk of the, I would say, the word most spoken word today in the world is mental health. But mental health is an outcome of our other abilities, our capabilities. And it could be how do we think, our positive thinking, how do we deal with negativity around us. So one of the biggest battle in human life is to deal with negative thoughts. We have a wonderful day, sun is shining, everything is around is fantastic. Somebody just said us one thing, and one unpleasant thing. It could be anyone close, right? It could be parent, it could be somebody in relationship, teacher, and just one bad thing. And that you can give your entire day just thinking about that. And you know there are at least 10 other good things and very, very positive things are happening in your life, but that one feeling, one moment can take away the entire focus and attention. And this is called the power of negativity, the influence of a spiral of negativity. So the problem is not that whether we think positive or not. The major problem is that do we train ourselves and do we develop a skill to handle negativity actually? Personally speaking, if you ask me, that is the master skill. The moment we and that's where all the knowledge, spiritual knowledge, personal development knowledge, everything focuses around that. How you can remain detached actually and how you can remain unaffected. But that's not possible humanly. When we are living in this world, things will affect us, right? We will get impacted. But certainly, what is in our hand is learning that what things impact us, to what extent, and how we reduce that. So, our powerful mind, developing that powerful mind, cultivating happiness, entrepreneurial mindset, and developing a positive mindset can put us on a thriving part. And I think we spoke about achievement is like setting the goals, defining a purpose, and that purpose can always be is like how it's gonna help someone. So building careers are not just like in the monetary terms. The happiest people could be doing anything in this world. We all are like imagine this world like it's a big movie, and we all are the characters in this movie. Whatever roles or scripts we have to play that. So you have seen movie, lot of movies, right? And in movie today, not only the lead actor or actress are given the awards. There are 10 people, 15, 20 people in a movie who are given awards today. Even somebody who has 10 minutes performance can be given an Oscar today. Or think it's just like a painting that everybody is painting in this one, and how you are painting to it actually. So set your goals, and the last most important thing for the day, and then that ends my presentation, is relationship skill. So one of the longest research in human history has happened in Harvard, and that has shown that at the end, only relationships matter. In our life, everyone's life, at the end, only relationship matters. So the quality of our life, our well-being, our achievement, our success is finally what kind of relationships we build. And the relationships don't happen naturally. We are born with certain relationships, like our blood relationship. Then we make certain relationships like friends, and then we get professional relationships. And then finally marriage, parenting and all. We have to invest into building these relationships meaningfully. And for that, we need to learn emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is the backbone that how do we understand self, others, emotions of self, emotions of others, and we can work together. Learn to manage conflict, have an open mindset, and most important, active listening. So with this, thank you so much. I think I hope this was meaningful in some ways. So if there, I'm happy to take it.
Sir, it was indeed a very nice presentation. It must be helpful to our all participants and even the students who are present in this platform. If any questions are there, you can ask Neeraj sir. So the participants are requested to ask any questions to Neeraj sir.
Sir, I have a question from you. Sir, myself, Roshan Chowdhury. I am Roshan Chowdhury myself from Sociology Department. Sir, my question is, as we all know that our marks not depend on our career, but most of the time when we go to give interview, our experience were less seen by those who were taking the interview, and they see most of the time certificate and marks. Because of that, many students were focusing in marks and not giving their focus on general knowledge. So is there any solution for that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a very, very important question. So think from a employer's point of view, correct? Employer
Yes, sir.
want to hire someone, right? And let's say you are in place of employer, correct? Okay. And
Yes, sir.
a student comes for an interview, right?
Yes.
So what is the purpose of interview? The purpose of interview is to know if this person has some skills or some capabilities, correct?
Yes, sir.
Agreed?
Yes, sir, I agree.
So you have to tell them something. You can say, okay, I didn't have much interest in this subject, or for some reason I could not, or maybe I realized late that I should have studied better. My marks are low, but my marks are not reflection of my knowledge. But then just saying that is not enough. You have to show your achievement in some other field, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have to say that, and you have to show that. Only then people will pay attention to that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So people will always ask marks first because that is how the system is built. But if you don't have marks, plus you don't have anything else also, you have not built or your capabilities in any field, then it is difficult, right?
Yes, sir.
Same way, even in the marks, what happens? Let's say you have studied in subjects. You have good marks in all subjects, but you can say, I had particular in this subject, and you can say in this subject, I had an excellent. So people look for somewhere your sincerity and your excellence in some field. You have to show for sure. Then they have to look for your just by saying I can do it. Nobody is going to believe you that you can do it. You have to show where you have done it. For example, then if not academics, if you have done a good social work, social project, some innovation, and even academics, let me tell everyone there, one subject, if at least if you have given 3 years to some or 5 years to some degree, there should be something which you are interested in, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Just show them, and then show it to them.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, we invite more questions from the students. Okay, but sir, you will be here for some time, so you can think about your questions if you have any, and we can address them at the end of the session also, towards the end. And now I'd like to thank Neeraj sir, because you have been like a mentor actually. Your speech was more like a mentor trying to reach out to the others, and it was really very enriching experience listening to you. I'm sure not only the students, all of us, and I really benefited from this. And thank you so much, sir. And your session ends so that you can also listen to some of the papers that will be presented towards the end of the session. And now I would like to invite Abhigyan Bhattacharjee sir in. Abhigyan Bhattacharjee is an associate professor, Department of Management and Placement, and he is a placement coordinator, NEHU, Tura campus. And our next speaker will be Abhigyan Bhattacharjee. Thank you so much, Neeraj sir. Please will be here till the end of the session, so that students, if they have any queries, they can reach out to you. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, Arunima Bora madam. Am I audible?
Audible, your time starts now then. Okay.
Okay. So, very warm good morning to each one of you. First of all, respect the principal, Sir Dulen Saikya sir. Take my respect and greetings. Thank you to Arunima Bora madam for reaching out to me and providing me this opportunity to interact in this August platform on soft skills. It's a 3-day seminar, and I am definitely sure that this seminar will be a successful one. Thank you to Neeraj Kumar sir for a very nice presentation. Your deliberation was really worth listening. So, my dear student friends, especially who are the main for this particular seminar on soft skills. So, today I'll be talking on the relevance of creative thinking as a soft skills tool in education paradigm. So this is the theme which I have taken with special emphasis on creative thinking. Okay. So regarding my deliberation, I'll be containing my talk within 3 specific. Firstly, I'll give a general conceptual background of what creative thinking is all about. Then some tips for teachers like us on creative thinking, and also some of the tips for you, the students, as to how to understand creative thinking in your day-to-day life. So if we take, for instance, in the draft, you see the National Education Policy 2020, one distinct fundamental principle, among others, the emphasis on conceptual understanding rather than rote learning and learning for exams, and imbibing creativity along with critical thinking to encourage logical decision making and innovation. So in the present dynamic scenario, the creative thinking in education paradigm is not to just teach reading, writing, or arithmetic, but it is to teach how to use your thinking skills along with qualified problem solving skills, scientific and technological literacy skills, as these skills are required for sustainability and a lifelong learning in addition to the basic education. So by creative thinking, what do we understand? We understand that it is a metacognitive process of thinking and generating novel or useful associations or ideas with the purpose of producing a plan, generating a solution, or identifying a model, pattern, process, a structure or a product which is not clearly present before. So it is known as thinking outside the box. That means the normal periphery outside the periphery of your usual thinking. So as it includes lateral thinking or the ability to perceive unclear patterns in something, wherein creative people have the ability to devise new ways to solve problems and face challenges. So we all are in, the educational paradigm. So educational institutions can influence several dimensions of students' internal resources, that is the individual enablers for engaging in creative thinking, which includes, say, cognitive skills, that is your thinking skills, domain readiness, or more particularly we call it as domain-specific knowledge and experience, openness to new ideas and experiences, willingness to work with others and build upon others' ideas, which we call it as collaboration, and willingness to persist towards one's goals in the face of difficulty and beliefs about one's own ability to be creative, that is goal orientation and beliefs, or task motivation. So at the heart of critical thinking lies the notion of novelty and flexibility. Please keep that in mind. When we talk about creative thinking, two important aspects comes in mind is, that is novelty, is newness, and the flexibility, that is you shrug your. So however, in addition to this, it is also crucial that learners reflect on the utility of their new ideas and consider how to use them to solve problems or make decisions or to achieve an objective. So when learners like you are allowed to your motivation increases, as does your curiosity. So asking for a creative response can also improve learners' self-esteem and self-awareness, giving them the confidence to reflect, question, and make new associations without feeling anxious or fearing the judgment of their peers. Moreover, students who implement critical thinking skills approach the courseware, that is your course, in a more thoughtful and effective manner, ask more challenging questions, and participate in the learning process more intensely. So using these skills, students tend to expand the perspectives from which they view the world and increase their ability to navigate the important decisions in learning and in life. So at one time, educators believed that content knowledge was enough for students to succeed. And it was thought that for the most part, information that students learned in school or colleges was the same information that their parents learned. But that paradigm has shifted in a changing world, typified by, we have instant communication, 24/7 news cycles, and the desires to know as much as possible and as quickly as possible. And the power and speed of technology has created a world where information changes quickly and new ideas can be distributed and adopted almost instantaneously. So in order to measure creativity or creative thinking ability in a classroom, which is more important to you, so that's why I thought that let me just bring in this point. In order to measure creative thinking ability in a classroom, some consensus has to be derived about what kind of thinking is related to creativity. So I have brought in 6 important points among this. Firstly is the sensitivity to problems. So it is, what it is actually, sensitivity to problems is, it is seeing defects, needs, deficiencies, seeing the odd and the unusual. Say for instance, education contexts have recently been transformed into pluricultural and plurilingual environments due to multi-background, migration, study programs, and the participants of these education contexts bring their own cultural assumptions and experiences to the common practices conducted in these contexts. So understanding and tolerating others in these contexts give misjudgments and prejudices which may otherwise cause communication problems among individuals. Next is flexibility. You see, it's the ability to shift from one approach to other, one line of thinking to another, or to free oneself from a previous set of thinking. So this is also very, very important point. There is flexibility in order to have creative thinking or critical thinking. Next is fluency. That is the ability to produce a large number of ideas. Another point is originality. It's the ability to produce remote, unusual, or new ideas or solutions. Another point is elaboration, which implies the ability to work out the details of a plan, idea, or outline, or to embroider or to elaborate. And the sixth point, that is the redefinition, which is the ability to define or perceive in a way different from usual, established, or intended way, etc. You see? Now, you see, what form does teaching for creativity take? So, in teaching students to process information creatively, we should encourage them to, firstly, that is create, then invent, discover, explore, imagine, and let them suppose. You see, we have to suppose something, we have to create. You see, we have to encourage the students to let them create, let them invent something, let them discover something, let them explore, let them imagine, and let them also suppose. However, we believe that to a large extent, creativity is not just a matter of thinking in a certain way, but rather it is an attitude toward life. Now you see, the question arises as to what are the decisions that underlie creative thinking. And perhaps, you see, there are many, but I would like to highlight at least 12 key ones. So firstly, it is redefine problems. So redefining a problem means taking a problem that most people see in one way and allowing and even prodding oneself to see it in another way. So it means not simply accepting things because other people accept them. So you see, you have to first of all redefine problems. So it is taking a problem that most people see in one way and allowing and even prodding oneself to see it in another way. So it not simply accepting things because other people accept them. So therefore you should have that type of a mindset wherein you should think differently. Next is analyze your own ideas. So no one has only good ideas, okay? So even the most creative psychologists sometimes make mistakes. Students need to learn to critique their own ideas. Please keep that in mind. You have to learn to critique your own ideas and to be the first to decide which of your ideas are really worth. So everyone should retain a healthy degree of skepticism, you see, about any idea he or she has. So no one is right all the time, and people who lose their skepticism about their own ideas may quickly reach dead ends because they may believe they have all the answers. So therefore you should always think that what you think, it may not be the only thing. So you should think out of the way also. You should also critique your own thinking so that new answers may be developed. Next is sell your ideas. So what does it mean? You see, when we are young, we may believe that creative ideas sell themselves, but actually they don't. The creative process does not end with their generation or even with their being critiqued, because creative ideas challenge existing ways of doing things. They must be sold to the public, whether scientific or lay. So therefore, you should be in a position to sell your ideas. You cannot be a typical conventional, of a mindset wherein people will not buy what you say. So therefore, you should have that type of an idea where you can sell it across. So next is, knowledge is a double-edged sword. Now, what is that? You see, to be creative, one has to be knowledgeable, and one cannot go beyond what is known without knowing it. However, knowledge can also impede creativity. You see, experts can become entrenched in ways of seeing things and lose sight of other perspectives or points of view. So it becomes important, therefore, for the teachers to impress upon the students that they have as much to teach teachers as teachers have to teach students. So what I mean to say is this, that the teachers like us, when we are in a classroom situation or otherwise, we should always, give the students that leeway, or the point wherein they can bring their own ideas and wherein we can learn from it. It cannot be only a one-way traffic, that is, the students can only learn from the teachers. It's actually, we also should learn many things from the students. Rather, we learn many things from the students, but that type of a platform should be given to the students wherein they feel free to come and deliberate and discuss. So the teachers have the advantage of knowledge and the students of flexibility. You see, obviously in a classroom situation, there is a teacher. Why the teacher is there? Because obviously the teacher has more knowledge than the students. Otherwise, why should the students sit on the other side of the bench? Definitely, they are there to learn something. So therefore, teachers have the advantage of knowledge, and at the same time, the students also have the advantage of flexibility. So here is the key. And working together, they can accomplish more than either can on their own. As far as teachers are concerned, they have to be especially careful that they not dismiss students' views, okay? Simply because the views happen not to fit into their own views of the world. So many a times, we as teachers, sometimes we discount or dismiss the students' views which come across by thinking that the way he thinks it doesn't suit my understanding. So therefore, we generally make the students shut. So actually, we should not do it. So therefore, the teachers have to be especially careful that they do not dismiss the students' views simply because the views happen not to fit into their own views of the world. Now, next point is surmounting obstacles. So because creative people defy the crowd, that is a bottom line. Creative people defy the crowd and they inevitably confront obstacles. So here the question is not whether they will confront obstacles, but whether they will have the guts to surmount them. And next point is taking sensible risks. You see, our educational system often encourages students to play it safe. On tests, they give very safe answers. And when they write papers, they try to second guess what their professors or their teachers. So, but creative people, students, please keep note of it. You as a creative person, so what I meant to say is very important now. So, but creative people, always are people who are willing to risk and think out of the box. And teachers need to encourage such risk taking. So here when a particular question has been put across by the teacher, you as a student, you should not read the teacher's mind always that, by this way, since the teacher has given this material to me or the notes to me, and if I wrote it and cram it the way it is and I vomit it, exactly. So what will happen? The teachers will give me 100% marks. So in this way, what is happening? You are not thinking out of the box. You are not thinking extra. So here, the teachers as well as the students should take it a point that they should have to take sensible risks too. And next is willingness to grow. You see, many people have one creative idea early in their career, creative thinking in the classroom, and then spend the rest of their life unfolding that idea. Now they become unwilling or even afraid to go beyond that idea. People early on, they fought the scientific or other establishment to win acceptance of that idea, and later they become that establishment fighting against the new ideas that threaten their own self-perceived monopoly on truth. So this aspect should be taken into account, that is, you should have the willingness to grow. Next very important point is believe in yourself. You see, creative people often find that their ideas get a poor reception, and it is suspect that all truly creative people come to believe at some time or another that they have lost most or all their external sources of intellectual and even emotional support. So at these times in particular, it is important that they maintain their belief in themselves to maintain a sense of self-efficacy. You see, sense of self-efficacy means understanding yourself, having control on your own thinking. So if they lose this belief, they will find themselves with nothing. Next is tolerance of ambiguity. So when we try creative things, we often find that in their early or even sometimes late stages, they do not work out the way seemingly should. So we go through prolonged, uncomfortable stages of ambiguity where things just do not quite fall into place. Yet, in order to be creative, we need to tolerate ambiguity long enough to get our ideas right. Next important point is find what you love and do it. So if research about creativity shows anything, it is that people are at their most creative when they are doing what they love to do. So as teachers, therefore, we need to encourage students to find their own niche, their own love of psychology or anything else, and not to try to turn them into disciples or intellectual clones, I would like to say, so, who will do our thing rather than their own. So that has to be, that thin line has to be drawn. Next is allowing time. You see, being creative takes time. So if you want to be creative in your mind, in your thinking, it obviously will take time. So students need to learn to allow time for incubation, you see, generation of your ideas, reflection, and selection among alternative ideas. So if you always rush, you see, or are rushed, you see, maybe forced by your peers or by teachers or by parents or something like that. So if you always rush or are rushed, you will have difficulty producing creative work. So therefore, you should give sufficient time to go through good books, you see, good readings, read blogs of successful people in the internet. In this pandemic scenario, obviously you have sufficient time. So do not simply waste your time in Facebook, browsing, etc. I'm not saying do not browse Facebook, but try to see some important points which can develop your creativity. This is what my point is. And another point is allowing mistakes. You see, people learn from their mistakes. However, if students become afraid to make mistakes, they will have trouble being creative. So creative people often have many failed ideas of products along the way to their successful ones. So had they not had the opportunity to make these mistakes, they perhaps never would have generated the idea or product for which they have become well known today. So let me give an example. You all know it. Say for instance, Thomas Edison, who created 10,000 failed prototypes, you see, of his electric bulb before succeeding. And as he famously said, I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Try to understand the point. You see, what Thomas Alva Edison said. You see, today we understand the importance of the electric bulb. And he created 10,000 failed prototypes of his electric bulb before succeeding. And what he said, please keep note of it. Although you can, have this particular adage or phrase, you have already known about it. What he said is, I have not failed, but I have found 10,000 ways that won't work. Another example I would like to say before the Harry Potter, you all have heard about Harry Potter, right? So before the Harry Potter series became a staple read, J.K. Rowling's, she is the author of Harry Potter. So J.K. Rowling's first Potter manuscript was actually rejected a total of 12 times before Bloomsbury decided to publish it. So these are some of the points which definitely will make you, prod into the creative fora. Last part is, I'll just touch upon the last part. I'll take another 5 to 6 minutes of your time. And I'm definitely sure that you will be benefited from these points which I'll be saying. So I'll talk about some of the techniques for creative problem solving. Although you all know about all these things, but still I'll just deliberate once again. Firstly is the brainstorming, you see. Brainstorming is one of the most popular techniques of creative problem solving. And it is an individual as well as a group activity, as we know. And brainstorming and problem solving activities, creating new content from own ideas or other resources requires generating many new options or doing something, that is flexibility, giving as many details as possible, that is elaborating, and rapidly producing ideas, that is fluency, and coming up with ideas that do not occur to most people, that is originality. You see, the brainstorming have 4 important points, that is flexibility, elaborating, fluency, and originality, and using newly creative content to solve problems and make decisions. See learners reflecting on the utility of the new ideas and on how to use them to achieve an end. Next, another very important point is mind mapping. You see, mind mapping is also a very useful creative problem solving process. A mind map is a generic representation of ideas and concepts. It is a visual tool for creativity and problem solving, and mind maps help you categorize and structure information. They aid comprehension, analysis, and help generating innovative ideas. Seeing the problem and the possible solutions represented in visual forms help many of us see the bigger picture and connect the dots. Another important point is counterfactual thinking. So now when you as a student has to take a call on a problem, you need to think about all your previous decisions. So you may think of the things that have gone wrong and the opportunities that you missed out on. So such counterfactual thinking helps you face the current problem and find a solution. Counterfactual thinking is one of the smartest examples, I should say, of creative problem solving at work. However, it is important not to channel negative emotions while going down the counterfactual thinking route. So use your past experiences, dear students, to ensure you don't repeat mistakes. Then seize opportunities and measure how far you have come. So be present and future focused and not use counterfactual thoughts to get trapped in the what ifs, you see, quotation what ifs of your past. Rather than you take the information of your past experiences and use it productively. Next point is abstraction. So abstraction is a great booster for creativity and problem solving. So abstract thinking is about finding different perspectives and ideas related to a topic. So for teachers like us, getting students to engage in the material requires a hefty amount of abstract thinking themselves. So teachers need to make materials accessible and clear to comprehend and easy to apply to the lives of their students. I would like to give you a simple example. Say when a creative director in an advertising agency has to design a campaign for a brand of fruit drinks, for example, or maybe evening wear, he used the word that is abstraction. So he thinks about the emotions associated with the drink or the evening, such as say camaraderie or the romance or the taste, health, joy, and the like. So in fine, creative thinking, I would say, is relatively distinct from analytical and practical thinking. And knowing someone's skills in analyzing or practical thinking will not say much about the person's skills in creative thinking. And teaching for creative thinking in schools or the colleges or universities which we are in can definitely improve students' academic performance. And it also helps more creative student to capitalize on strength, and at the same time that it helps the less creative student to compensate for or correct a weakness. You see, creativity therefore is in large part an attitude towards life. So that is all what I intended to say. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Arunima Bora Madam, I am done.
Yes, yes, sir. That was wonderful, really wonderful. And I'm sure everybody,
Thank you,
everybody,
students.
teachers as well as students, yeah. And any questions, students? If you want to address any questions.
Yeah, any questions if it is there, I can.
Please.
I'll be happy to discuss. So I hope the students were benefited by the concept of creative thinking. What is it actually? I have tried to make them understand about the various nuances of how they can take the benefit of creative thinking in a classroom situation. And at the same time, some tips to teachers like us that how we can
Yes,
take
very.
advantage of thinking.
Very illuminating. Your talk was illuminating. I'm sure students as well as teachers have benefited equally.
Right.
Any queries? If not, then we may perhaps go over the next agenda, which is presentation of papers. Over to Pinaki ma'am. And can meanwhile think about the questions. I request Pinaki ma'am please to announce the names of the paper presenters. Those will be presenting papers now.
Thank you, Arunima. So we are now going to begin the presentation of papers in this next session. Actually, there are 4 papers to be presented in this session. There are altogether 4 papers. I am announcing the names of the presenters. Ms. Winnie Saika and Dipankar Saika. They are the research scholars, Department of Management of Tura. Then another one, Mr. Monjit Gogoi, Assistant Professor, Department of History, Goff Model College, Kaziranga. We are very pleased to announce that we have also the student participants in our national seminar. Ms. Rajashri Bhuya, she is from Pragya Academy. Then Santosh Kumar Mandal, he is from Luit Valley Academy. So they will present the papers now. So it is my request to all the participants that you just conclude your paper. Maximum 5 to 6 minutes will be given. You just brief it in a brief manner. You present the papers. So it is my request to you all. I think all the participants or the presenters are present on this virtual platform. I think so. Admin, you please make them host while presenting the paper. It's our request to the admin.
Ma'am, I have done that already. We need present, start presenting.
First presenter is Ms. Winnie Saika and Dipankar. Yeah, please proceed. You have made the host for this session.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible. Winnie Saika. Yes.
Yes. Is my screen visible now?
No, screen is not visible. Your only word audible now. You can start sharing. Go to slide share. Admin is very much with us. You don't have to worry about that. He'll take care of it.
Is it visible, ma'am?
No, it's
No,
not
screen is
visible.
I have started sharing my screen.
Edwin,
You'll get
poor network connection. That's why it's taking some time.
a poor network connection, right?
yes, it is visible now, madam.
Okay.
Yes, for now.
Shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, do start, Vinny. Go ahead. Best wishes.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, respected Principal Sir, Jorhat Kendriya Mahavidyalaya, the keynote speakers, the organizing committee, participants from Assam and across the countries. Myself, Winnie Saikia, research scholar, Northeastern Hill University, Tura, with co-author Dipankar Das, research scholar, Department of Management, Northeastern Hill University, would like to deliver a presentation on accessing the soft skill requirements in IT job using the LinkedIn platform. So, since we are having the limited time with us, so I'm directly moving to the objectives of our study. Before the objectives, we have done a literature review, and from the literature review, we found some relevations on the soft skill and its relevance to the IT sector. However, to make more specific assessment on the actual soft skill requirements vis-a-vis job positions, we framed the objectives of our study. So the first objectives of our study to investigate the soft skills requirements in information and technology companies at various levels of job, uh, various levels of experience for two job functions, that is sales and business development. The second objectives was to compare and contrast the soft skills requirements of IT companies across different experience levels and job functions. The third objectives of our study was to determine the frequency with which certain soft skills appear in job advertisement. Next, the research methodology. So, in research methodology part for our study, we have used secondary data. We have collected the soft skills requirement from the LinkedIn platform for various IT company jobs, and we have also taken the data from various sources like journal articles, etc. So the LinkedIn platform was chosen because it is the most popular among employers and has 720 million active users up to the time of survey as on 10th 6 2021. So for our study, the top 4 information technology companies have been selected on the basis of job advertisement data available on a particular day, that is on 10th June 2021. So we have considered various parameters for the study, such as job functions, which includes sales and business development, and it aligned with experience level, which are entry level, associate, mid senior level, director, and executive. So, and altogether, we have shortlisted 25 job advertisements for the study. So, the sample estimation table. Ma'am, is my screen is visible? Is it clear, ma'am?
Yes, very much clear.
Okay, this is the sample size estimation table. So here is the job functions and company that we have considered 4 top IT companies, that is Infosys, Wipro, Amazon, and Capgemini. So in regard with the job functions, we have aligned it with the experience level, that is internship, entry level, associate, mid senior level, director, and executive. And I would like to add a point that on that particular day when we did our survey, that is on 10/6/2021, so the 4 companies have posted more than 100 jobs, but they have updated for entry level, associate, mid senior by the Infosys, and Wipro have updated for entry level, associate, mid-senior level, director and executive, but not for the internship. So likewise, the tick mark denotes that they have updated jobs on that particular date, and the dash denotes that they have not updated jobs for that particular experience level. So this is how we have estimated the sample size, and we have shortlisted. That means we got 25 job advertisement for each company, aligning with the experience levels under job functions, that is sales and business development. Results and discussion. Our first objectives was to investigate the soft skill requirements in information and technology companies at various levels. And the second objectives was to compare and contrast the soft skills requirements. So we have analyzed these two objectives, and I would like to show you the document where we have analyzed for the first and second objectives. So the first objectives, for the first objectives, to access the soft skill requirements in information and technology companies, this is the table we have prepared, and we have identified various soft skills, as you can see here, aligning to the experience level for Infosys, Wipro, then Capgemini. We have identified various soft skills which were present in their advertisement. So for entry level, we have identified. For associate, we have identified these jobs, these soft skills, and for mid-senior level, we have identified like this. So our first objectives we have achieved like this. So for sales, we are done, and for business development, here we can see that for same Wipro, Amazon, Capgemini, we have identified the soft skill like this. This is in regard to our first objectives. So the second objectives was to compare and contrast the soft skill requirements of IT companies. So this is the comparison table of soft skills aligned to the experience level of different job functions, that is sales and development. So first what we did for the second objectives was, first we have seen that what are the soft skills Infosys have asked for entry level, associate level and mid-senior level. So if we consider Infosys, for Infosys, like for the entry level, they are having different soft skills, and for associate level they ask for different soft skills, and for mid-senior level they ask for different soft skills. That means we can say that within the same company, aligned with different experience level, with different job functions, they asked, or the companies are asking for different soft skills. So this I have given only one example. So again, in case of business development job function also, if we consider Infosys, they have posted job for entry level, associate for that particular day. So here also we can see that the soft skills for both the experience levels are different. So now, again for the second objectives, we have prepared a comparison table of soft skills across the countries. Now, when we are considering across the companies, here we can see that we have prepared for Infosys, Wipro, Amazon, Capgemini. Then we have seen that likewise what I have said, that Infosys, they were having these soft skills for sales and business development. So here we will see the difference between the soft skill across the company. So let us just see that what Infosys have asked in sales aligned with entry level, and what Wipro have asked in sales aligned with entry level. So again here the two company have asked different soft skills for two for the same entry level job, same sales job functions. As the companies are different, that's why we found that the soft skills are different. So again, I'll just consider one example here only, that in the business development. Again, we can see that this considering the same job functions, that is business development, and considering the same experience level, that is entry level, Wipro and Infosys, they are asking different soft skills for the job. So coming to the third objectives, to determine the frequency with which certain soft skills appear in job advertisement. So to achieve the third objectives, we are having this table where it indicates that means if from the study we have identified 34 different 34 different soft skills from the job advertisement the company were asking on that particular day. So now here we found that the communication skills, and also we have seen the occurrence, the soft, how means their occurrence, frequency of occurrence. Now communication skills, we have seen that they occurred 17 times in the job advertisement. So likewise, presentation skills have occurred 3 times, logical thinking have occurred 4 times. So likewise, we have found the occurrences of the soft skills are required by the job. So now from these 3 objectives, we can conclude that communication skills, problem-solving skills, interpersonal skills, relationship building skills, leadership skills, networking skills, and analytical skills were the most important soft skills required by information and technology companies. So we can also conclude by saying that the good communication skills is the specific soft skills requirement appeared most in the job advertisement with a different experience level, and the implication of the study is also manifold. By developing the requisite soft skills, employees will be able to accomplish their projects more successfully with more pleasing output, which will have a positive impact on their personal and professional life. So this study would also assist academic institutions in understanding the skills requirements of IT companies and incorporating those requirements in their course curriculum. The study would also boost the likelihood of employing potential applicants who are interested in career in the field of in IT field. So the study can be utilized as a starting point for further research into many areas of soft skills, such as the value of skills over hard skills, soft skills, and their relative value in hiring new applicants, a gap study of soft skills between business and academic institutions providing soft skills training, and so on. So thank you so much. This was my presentation of our paper.
Yes, and it will be very much beneficial to our students, basically the students who are present on this platform. So the students who are pursuing their studies in different areas, they may be very much beneficial out of it. So how the soft skills helps in the information and technology area or in the company, so it will be beneficial to the students. So it is over to the students.
Yeah. And also, Pinaki ma'am, I'd like to point out one thing here. Actually, I want to address our Abhigyan sir and Neeraj sir. I actually missed it. I should have informed at the very beginning, actually, sir, that we have awards for the best paper as well as best paper presenter. So Can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, sir. Actually, we have set awards for the best paper as well as best paper presenter as well as for posters. Posters will come later. Today we don't have any posters, so I request you to please note down your comments and maybe WhatsApp to me. It'll be very useful. And please, you can also you're free to ask your questions and all to the paper presenter right now. Thank you so much. That's what I'm.
Thank you, Arunima. So I request the participants to ask any queries about the paper which was presented by Vinny Saikia. Any queries you can ask.
Excuse me, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
I have one question. Winnie, ma'am, you have secondary data?
Yes.
Okay. All are statistically analyzed.
No, ma'am, this is not our study. In our study, we have seen only the frequencies of the soft scale, the occurrences of the soft scale. For the first objectives, I have already shown the table that we have identified various soft skills required by the IT companies, ma'am. So in the second objectives, we have compared the soft skills across the across the companies, and for the third objectives, we have only seen the frequencies, ma'am.
Okay.
The occurrences of the soft skills only.
Okay, you are doing PhD now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, now it is compulsory to that is the data should be analyzed statistically. What you will do?
This is the initial study, ma'am. We will further continue with this study with more statistical data and all, ma'am.
Okay then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Neeraj sir, if you'd like to question our participant here. Network is unstable. If there are no questions, if there are no queries, then maybe we can go over to the next paper, Pinaki. Let's see if there are no queries.
So the next paper is by Mr. Manju. He is Assistant Professor, Department of History, Modern College, Kaziranga, and his paper is on Relevance of Life Skill Education in Student Life. So I request Manjit Gogoi to proceed his presentation. Thank you. Manjit Gogoi, are you present?
Yeah. Hello.
Yes.
Am I audible, madam?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah. Okay. So good morning to all. Myself. Yes. Good morning to all. Myself, Manjit Gogoi, Assistant Professor, Department of History, Government Model College, Kaziranga, Assam. So now I'm going to present my paper, and my paper is on relevance of life skill education in student life. As we know that life skills are important component of human life, especially in adolescence period. Although it is a period of progress of all capabilities, however, due to several social and mental reasons, most of the students fails to utilize these potentialities. Therefore, at this period, life skill education is essential subject to deal with the existing challenges of students. As we know that WHO, UNESCO and other international bodies have advocated importance of life skill during student life. So life skill, they would
enabled to utilize their skills in different situations of life. In India, before National Education Policy 2020, the concept of life skill was there in national policies on education as extracurricular programs as well as co-curricular programs. However, the same has been more emphasis on National Education Policy 2020 by considering it as core subject. Therefore, remaining within the periphery of skill education in this paper, an attempt has been made to understand its relevance in students' life. The objectives of the studies are to understand the concept of life skill education and to understand its importance in students' life. In this paper, both descriptive and analytical methodology has been followed, and data are mainly collected from secondary sources like books, journals, and internet. In the history of Indian education, we notice that since Vedic age and Gurukula system of education, development of life skills have been an integral part of education. Gurukul system inherently created an atmosphere where development of different works as well as various life skills like critical thinking, creative thinking, effective leadership, and decision making and others were automatically came out. In subsequent period, this trend had been reduced to a certain extent due to different reasons. However, in today's society, since it is an important aspect of society, that's why more emphasis has been on life skill education. As we know that the basic aim on development of the personality of a student or harmonious development of various domains of an individual. Mahatma Gandhi said, quote and unquote, by education, I mean strong growing the base in soil and man body, mind and spirit. Therefore, in order to holistic development of a student, imparting life skill education is necessary. Generally, life skill includes psychosocial abilities and interpersonal skills that help people take decisions and solve existing problems in a healthy and productive manner. Life skills are connected or concerned with the education, health, and social sector, and generally represent a set of skills for empowering cognitive, emotional, personal, and interpersonal skills. These skills are essentially the ability that promotes mental and social well-being in a situation encountered in the course of life. As we already told that UNICEF, UNESCO, WHO, and other international organizations has advocated the importance of life skills in student education. Therefore, it is responsibility of every education system to support the development of life skill among the students so that they would become able to function effectively in society, and education system should inculcate various essential life skills such as creativity, communication, adaptability, and various other social skills. Recently, as we know, in educational field, there have been many changes. With these changes, some new ideas and concepts also emerge in education scenario. Education is the